All right. Well, we're going to keep moving along here. I'd like to welcome Mr. Antonio Rios, representing Puerto Rico today, and we'll be talking about involving environmental justice in the zero waste movement. Please welcome Tony Rios.
Good morning. Bom dia. Dobroho ranku. Good morning. Buenos días a todos. Uh, Today, I want to talk to you about what we are doing on Puerto Rico. Uh, Puerto Rico, we are now designing our waste management plan, and we are moving that towards zero waste. The plan that is working in the island is through integrated solid waste management plan, but what we want is to move more to the sustainable management of materials. I'm representing the Coalición de Reciclaje de Puerto Rico, and I also work for the Department of Environmental and Natural Resources for the island, and I am the project manager of a grant of the disaster recovery for the island from the hurricanes. The hurricanes take what we have been taking from the nature. I want to make first an analysis of what we had in the island. In the island for decades, we had a solid waste management that has been disjointed and inefficient. By the 80s, we used to have 64 landfills in the island. Puerto Rico is very small, 100 by 35, and we are like a group of islands. And in the 1994, when it began the new federal regulation for landfills, we closed the half of them. And there was supposed to be closing the other ones that doesn't comply with the regulation. But today, we have a lot of them that continue operating without liners and any engineering systems. But they are going to be closed today, and we need to move forward to then change to other alternatives like sustainable material management, zero waste, circularity. The plan should consider the best practice. We want to be focused to sustainable material management that is like talking about zero waste and circular economy. I like to talk about sustainable material management because I have the pleasure to meet the Cradle to Cradle author, and it blew my mind because we are not talking about material, we are talking about resources. Something that we need to do in the island is to train the staff, person in the government, so they understand what we are talking when we talk about zero waste, circularity, and sustainable material management, and move from the traditional that had been used by years. The government must ensure that facilities operating in Puerto Rico comply with applicable laws and regulations, and I believe that all the landfills and the recycling, because when we have those landfills that doesn't comply, they compete with our strategies of recycling, providing a lower cost for disposal, and that make people think that it's better to put everything together and send to the landfills. And we need to begin to separate make source separation and begin to make other uses to those materials. In the island, we have been using landfills for the disposal, and the part of recycling must focus on exporting to other areas. We used to send to China, but then when the green fence and those blue sky came, that make difficult recycling for many countries, including the States. We understand that we don't have the glass empty. I think that we have the glass half full and give us an opportunity to develop our own industry of recycling. And in Puerto Rico, we depend a lot of export and import materials because we are a arch of islands, that we are only It's not like in the state that we can move from one state to another, and that is the same impact that we have when we have hurricanes in the island. That we need to survive on our own. And also, we understand that we need to look to other countries how they have been challenged that recycling, and we understand that they have done also developing market for those recyclable materials. And also the government should facilitate that to develop that infrastructure needed and don't put all the money only in closing landfills. I need that the landfills need to be closed. And since we are going to be having only small quantity, but the best practice is to divert from those facilities to depend the less that we can from them. And also, that's something that will also help us create green jobs in the island. This was a study that was made in 2003, the waste characterization study, and that give us that we have some low-hanging fruits. The part of organics is a great part of what we are generating in the island, and we have so many other materials that can be recovered. We made that study again in 2023, and we have also the part of organic is about 30%. We had in Puerto Rico a law that is the law that is related to the climate change in 2019, and we have a goal of we used to have a goal of 35% that we never meet, and we have only achieved about 15% on diversion, recycling about 10. But now the new law of climate change requires us to achieve a 60% by 2030. Some people say that this is not feasible, but I think that if we have the will, we can do that. It's matter that we focus on what material we are going to be collecting. This is the traditional hierarchy that is reduced, recycled energy recovery, and landfills. In Puerto Rico, we don't have waste to energies to manage the waste that is generated at the island, but there are a lot of movement to try to bring waste to energy facilities to Puerto Rico. In terms of what we are doing in the Department of Natural Resources, we make a meeting, like the stakeholders meeting that it was designed. It was the first page when we have different meetings in the island to bring everyone to participate. And we invite the general public, environmental organization, private sector, mayor, consultants, and professional organizations, and the community. But also we had done some other meetings with people from communities that have been impacted by the landfills. For example, Toa Alta, Arecibo, and Moca are municipalities that have landfills that doesn't comply and have communities near. Those communities are affected by the gas that is generated on those landfills that doesn't comply with the regulation, the leachate that is generated. And the Toa Alta, we put a order that need to close. They can continue receiving. Arecibo need to close too, and we are planning to close that facility for 2027. They are pushing, trying to move to 2030, but the community want that it is closed for tomorrow, so we need to move forward. But we will keep in 2027. We make initially for the stakeholder meeting, we make a survey, and then we make in-person workshop all around the island that to try to all the geographic island be covered, and also a virtual meeting. So those persons that can come to the facility. The background, public workshop, this is the organization of the workshop. In the workshop content was a background, including existing regulation, develop public policies, explaining the waste characterization study, and we use some benchmarking. If some of you have better benchmarking that I think that you could, please share with us. The public survey include what do you consider important to manage waste? What is your concern about future? Trust the current recycling program. And many people don't trust the current recycling program. People believe that we are sending that to the landfills. And also when we make we divide the groups like we are here. One people can select to participate talking about landfills, compliance, what should be included in the new policy, region development, the reduction and recycling, energy recovery, and financial aspects. Then at the end, we make a report out on discussion, recap, and closing. In general, there are people that want to we move to a circular economy, zero waste, sustainable material management, but there are people that want that we put in the island waste to energy facilities. Our recommendation is that we need to move from linear economy, move more to do working on recyclable input instead of exporting, make more infrastructure in the island, move to circular economy, and also in terms of we need to work with sustainable material management, try to work upstream instead of downstream for the island. Our goal is to move into a post-area landfill area, promote sustainable material management, produce volume of solid waste, promote reduce and reuse strategies, optimize recycling, provide feasible financial model, add transparency to current waste management expenses, promote technology and infrastructure investment, centralization of service, risk consolidation, and that Puerto Rico be the hub of America for recycling. That's our existing infrastructure. We have 16 transfer stations, 4 material recovery facility, and we have about 3 big composting facility and some other little efforts that we are working, and we plan to increase the composting facilities in the island. We think that we can achieve this movement towards zero waste with the participation of private sector, industry, commercial, government, municipal, and non-governmental organizations, including the community, including the municipalities. We think that we should promote different markets. Here I was trying to help a guy that wants to work with matters recycling. And we also are trying to push that we have a sustainable material management eco park in the island so we can move forward and replicate that in other areas in Puerto Rico. And this could be achieved through education, improved technology for recycling, develop end markets and metrics, because we need to know what we are doing. Thanks.